Hello and welcome to my craft room in my 1902 farmhouse. My name is Alicia with Country Mama Musings, and today we're going to be working on block 48, the raised ripple stitch, and this will be part of our heirloom Afghan crochet along. So grab your supplies, your size H crochet hook, and whatever color you've determined to be color C for your Afghan, and let's get started. So before we get started, I do want to let you know I heard from one of you, and I received a comment that said, "Oh, Country Mama, can't you change the color of your backdrop? It's hard to see some of the colors against the blue backdrop." And coincidentally, I had just gone to Dollar Tree and I'd picked up this pink foam board for something I was doing for an Easter project. So I brought it on up to the craft room, completed my project, and I've set it up here underneath the camera setup. So hopefully you'll be able to see the crochet stitches a little easier, especially when we use teal. Having said that, and thank you so much for the feedback, I really do appreciate it. Let's move on to block 48, the raised ripple stitch. We are indeed using this beautiful teal color, and we're going to start with a slip knot, leaving ourselves a nice long tail to sew in later. And we're going to be using our size H crochet hook. We're going to chain 27. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 25, 26, and 27. Let's move on to row 1. According to our pattern, we're going to place a double crochet in the 4th chain from the hook. So not counting the loop that's already on our hook. 1, 2, 3, 4. We're going to place our first double crochet right here in this chain. So yarn over into that chain, yarn over, pull through. We have 3 loops on our hook. Yarn over, pull through 2, and yarn over, pull through 2. We're going to place a double crochet in every chain along our beginning chain here. I'm going to go ahead and do that, and I'll meet up with you here at the end. We're coming here to the end of row 1. Don't forget your last chain here. We're going to place a double crochet in there. And I'm going to remove my hook, and let's look at row 1 together. Okay, so here at the end of row 1, we want to have 25 double crochet. The first 3 chains that we skipped here, that's going to count as our first double crochet. So we have 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11, 12, 13, 14, 15, 16, 17, 18, 19, 20, 21, 22, 23, 24, and 25. So don't forget to count these first 3 chains that we skipped as a double crochet. Let's move on to row 2. For row 2, we're going to chain 1 and we're going to turn our work. We're going to single crochet in each stitch across. So we have 25 double crochet. We're going to have 25 single crochet. We need to make sure that we place a single crochet right here in this double crochet. We're not skipping one. We're going right into this very first one and placing a single crochet. So a single crochet in every stitch across, making sure that you go through both the front loop and the back loop of that double crochet when you work that stitch. So I'm going to go ahead and I'm going to place my 25 single crochet across. I'll meet up with you at the end. 22, 23, here's a double crochet, that's going to be 24, but don't forget these 3 chains that we skipped, that counts as a double crochet. We're going to want to place a single crochet at the very top of this. So find where you can get at least 2 strands of yarn onto your hook and complete that single crochet. So looking at row 2 now, we have a nice row of single crochets on top of our double crochets. Let's move on to row 3. Hey, are you enjoying putting together all of the beautiful heirloom sampler blocks for our heirloom Afghan crochet along? If so, please make sure that you subscribe to the channel, give this video a thumbs up, check out the playlist that has all of the videos for every block for our crochet along, and be sure to share the video with your friends that like to crochet. Okay, let's get back to our project for this week. For row 3, we're going to chain 3, 1, 2, 3, and we're going to turn our work. This chain 3 now, according to our pattern, counts as our first double crochet now and throughout the rest of the block. We're going to work a front post double crochet around the post of the double crochet below the next single crochet. It reads like IKEA instructions to build an end table. So right here is our next single crochet. So that means it's the second stitch over. This is our first double crochet. This is our second double crochet down here. We're going to work a front post double crochet around this second double crochet down here. So yarn over, go from the front to the back behind that stitch and come out the front again. Grab your yarn, pull it back through, and I like to give my work just a little bit of tug so we can bring that stitch up to the level of row 3 where we're working. Yarn over, pull through 2, and yarn over, pull through 2. And now we have our first front post double crochet. Now this front post double crochet, it actually lays over the top of our single crochet right here. So we're going to skip this single crochet because it lays right on top of it. We're going to go to our next single crochet and we're going to place a double crochet in that single crochet, making sure we go through both the front loop and the back loop. Okay, so here we have a double crochet, a front post double crochet, and then a double crochet, remembering that this chain 3 counts as a double crochet. This double crochet in the top of the single crochet, it goes with this very next double crochet here. Okay, this is our next single crochet, this is our next double crochet. We're going to front post around that double crochet, so we're going to skip one, do one. So working around the post of that double crochet, giving our yarn a little tug to bringing it up to the level of our work here on row 3, a double crochet. Again, we're going to skip this single crochet that's behind this front post double crochet that it lays on top of. We're going to go to the next single crochet and place a double crochet in that stitch there. We're going to repeat this all the way across where we do a front post double crochet and then a double crochet. They're going to kind of stagger up and down. So since we just worked in this single crochet and it's above this double crochet down here that's alone, we're going to go to the very next double crochet and do a front post double crochet. Remember giving it a little tug to bring it up to the level of our work. We're skipping this single crochet that it lays on top of, going to the next single crochet and working a double crochet in that stitch. So continue doing that across and I'll meet up with you at the end of row 3. We're coming here to the end of row 3. I've just completed a double crochet into the single crochet above this one here. I've got a front post here. The next stitch is a front post, so we're going to hit this one right here. We're going to wrap around this one, pull our loop up a little bit, and right here at the very, very end, we've got this final single crochet. We're going to double crochet into it. It's always a little tough here at the ends. Make sure you get 2 loops, the front loop and the back loop when you do that. Last stitch there, and here we go. So let's take a look at row 3. So row 3 is a series of these front post double crochet and then the double crochet into a single crochet. You can notice it's already, even though I give myself plenty of room, it's starting to curl a little bit. Make sure you allow yourself to give that little bit of a tug. And this is with me giving it a tug. And I've got just a little bit of a curl. If you don't give the tug, your work's going to curl like this and your block is not going to be very symmetrical. You have to give it the room that it needs. So here's row 3. Let's move on to row 4. Row 4 is very simple. We're going to chain 1 and turn our work. We're going to place a single crochet in each stitch across, remembering that this very last double crochet that we did right here, we have to put a single crochet in the top of that. So we're not going to the next stitch, we're starting at the very first stitch right here with a single crochet and a single crochet in each stitch across, making sure you get both the front loop and the back loop. 3, 4, 5. You're going to have 25 when you get to the end. I'll meet up with you at the end of the row. 24, and remember this chain 3 counts as a stitch, so we want to place a single crochet in the top of that chain 3 turn there, and that makes 25. So at the end of row 4, and now we're looking at the back side of our work. This is the front side of our work. See how we can see the pretty front posts. This is the back side. So we've just completed row 4. Let's move on to row 5. For row 5, we're going to chain 3 and turn 1, 2, 3. Remembering this counts as an actual stitch now. Turning our work. We're going to double crochet in the next single crochet. This chain up 3 that counts as a stitch is connected to this first single crochet. We're not working here. We're working in the next single crochet. So in the next single crochet, we're going to place a double crochet right here. There we go. We're going to now work a front post double crochet around the post of the double crochet below the next single crochet. So we're not working around this front post here. This is the second stitch over in this row here. We have one stitch here, we have one stitch here. We have to go to the third stitch, which is right here, in the double crochets below it right here. We're going to work a front post around this double crochet that's kind of standing there alone in between the two front posts. We're going to do a front post there. Remember to give it that little tug and complete your double crochet. We're going to skip the single crochet that's directly behind it and place a double crochet in the next single crochet right there. So what we're doing is we're staggering. Where we had the front post before with the double crochets in between, now we're going to front post around those double crochets, and we're going to place our regular double crochets along top of these here. So here's our double crochet that's in a single crochet. We're going to go to our next standalone double crochet right here, and we're going to do a front post double crochet. We're going to skip the single crochet behind it and place a double crochet in the next single crochet. So again, we're doing the same thing as we did in row 3. We're going to do a front post and then move up to the top of the stitch and do a double crochet, a front post a row below, and then a double crochet. So here we just completed this double crochet. We're going to find our next standalone double crochet from the row below right here. This is our row 3 down here. Grab that post, wrapping around it, give yourself that little tug, and complete that front post double crochet. Skip this single crochet behind it that it lays on top of, and place a double crochet in the next single crochet. You're going to continue this for row 5 all along your single crochet row here. I'll meet up with you here at the end of the row. I'm here at the end of row 5. I've just placed a double crochet in the top of that single crochet. This is going to be the last front post double crochet of this row. Skipping the single crochet and placing a double crochet in the next single crochet. And we're here at the end and we've got a single crochet left. And again, this is about symmetry. We've discussed this before. Here at the beginning of the row, we have our chain 3 that counts as a double crochet, and then we did a double crochet. So we have 2 double crochets before we do a front post. Here we have a front post and 1 double crochet. We're going to end this row with a double crochet right here in this very last single crochet. So let's take a look at row 5. You can see now the front posts double crochets that are starting to stagger and fill in this block beautifully. I wasn't sure I was going to be a fan of this block, but I do like it. So we should have 25 stitches at the end of each and every row. So here we have these 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11, 12, 13, 14, 15, 16, 17, 18, 19, 20, 21, 22, 23, 24, and 25. As you're working your block, just take that extra moment to count, make sure that you're right where you need to be. To complete this block, we're going to repeat rows 2 through 5. And we're going to do this until our work is approximately 7 inches square. So go back, do row 2, which is the single crochets across. And then we're going to start row 3 over here where we're going to have our front post down here again. And then we'll go back and forth as this block grows. So rows 2, 3, 4, and 5 until your block reaches 7 inches square. I'm going to come back about halfway through because I want to see how we're doing with our progress and discuss a couple of key notes. So I'll meet back with you when I'm about halfway done with this block. I'm going back to row 2 now. I've repeated row 2 and we're going to move on to repeating row 3 again. So chain 3. And I came back to show you this because I realized I think it was a little unfair that I left you a little too early. For row 3, we're chaining up 3 and turning. This counts as our first double crochet. We're going to go around the double crochet below the next single crochet. Right here. Here's our next single crochet. And this is the double crochet we're going to wrap around. It's this very first one. This counts as the first double crochet, but this first true double crochet right here. This is where we're going to place our front post double crochet. So right here, go around that stitch. You've got lots of room because there's really not much competing for space there at the end of the row. And complete that double crochet. Skip the single crochet that this lays on top of and place a double crochet in the next single crochet right there. Now this should really start looking familiar to you because you're just going to find the next double crochet from this row down here. Go around it. And you know, one thing I want to point out is you see these little spaces right here? Don't go in between these spaces here and here. You want to go in and grab that entire post. Don't grab these little strands. You want to leave those alone. You don't want to capture them. You're going to end up with some unnecessary holes in your work. So work along this next row. This is a repeat of row 3 and complete your front post double crochets, giving yourself lots of room so that your work doesn't curl. And then just continue on repeating your rows. And as I said earlier, I'll meet up with you when I get to about the halfway point and we'll take a look and see how our block is forming. This is actually a very easy pattern once you understand what it's telling you to do. And it will actually just it's going to be so easy to recognize where your hook goes each time. So just keep working rows 2 through 5. I'll meet up with you at the halfway point. We're about halfway done with block 48, the raised ripple stitch. And now you can really start seeing the definition of the raised ripples. It's actually a very pretty stitch. I said earlier I wasn't sure I was going to like it, but I really, really do. Now, I've stopped at the halfway point, or maybe closer to about 60% here, because I want you to take a look at your sides. You should have nice, even sides. And it's okay if you need to just give this a little bit of a stretch as you lay it out, flatten it out, and see how it's going to look. Your work should not be going in. If it's going in, that means you've missed a stitch somewhere. Make sure you have 25 stitches across. If it's starting to bow out a little bit and it's starting to flare, it means you have an extra stitch somewhere. Again, go back to the place where you have 25 stitches, rip out if you need to, and start back to where you have those 25 stitches as you go. Very, very pretty stitch. I'm going to continue on repeating rows 2 through 5 until I'm at that 7-inch square, and I'll meet up with you there. 24 and 25. This is the last time that I'm going to be completing row 5. And I do have a little bit of curl. So if you have a little bit of curl, it's okay. Don't panic. Once you get your edging on, it's going to straighten out fine. So let's take a measurement of this real quick and see where we're at. I'm positive I'm right where I need to be. I picked up this really cute little tape measure. Isn't that adorable? I picked this up the last time I was at the store. I could not pass up the opportunity to get these little bees. I just love this. I think it's so cute. So let's see where we're at. As we go across here, we're a little bit more than 7 inches. That's okay. Remember that your sizes are to be approximate. Don't panic if it's a little bit bigger than what it should be. That's okay. Everything's going to come out in the wash, I promise. And then across here, we're right at about, whoops. And let's look at the other end here. I'm going to go ahead and come across here, and we're just at about 7. So I think we're going to be good right here. Now it may look like it's not a perfect square, and that's okay. Once you get your edging on, this is going to stretch a little bit. You've got a little bit of wiggle room here, so I don't want you to worry about that. So go ahead and go to the video for the edging. You're not going to finish off this color. Don't finish off. You're going to complete round 1 of your edging around your block. Then you'll finish off and you'll complete round 2 with whatever color it is you have chosen to be color A, which is your joining color. So go ahead and complete both round 1, round 2 of your edging, and then there's only one thing left to do. And that's get yourself a tag. Go ahead and mark on here week 48. Raised ripple stitch in color C, and attach this to your work and set this aside with your other blocks, and they'll be ready to go when we put our Afghan together. So that's it from the craft room today. I'd like to thank you so much for joining me for week 48. I will see you next time for week 49, the lacy wave stitch. Bye-bye.